Alrighty, race fans. In this particular edition of the Workbench, we're going to take a look at Auto World Super 3 car. Got up this morning and didn't particularly plan on doing anything, but I was on my way around town doing some errands, and I had a 40% off coupon for Hobby Lobby, and stopped in and got a brand new carded car, so it wasn't too bad. Anyway, brought it home, opened it up, and as always, you know, the packaging and the presentation with Auto World is just off the chart good. You just can't. I mean, really, when you look at it, it's just extremely good bodies. I mean, the wheels with the deco of the tires, it's just all really good. So open it up, stick it out on the track, pull the trigger, and it sounds like it's grinding corn. It's not very fast. So right there it's like, okay, yeah, the gears are bad in it. And I've kind of known this for a while. And I think most of the problem, best that I can determine, is the crown gear in the Super 3. The teeth just aren't very good. So what I've done is taken our lifelike 25 tooth crown gear and taken the gear boss off of the Super 3 and put it on there and popped it in the car, and we'll check it out here on 9-volt, and it's a lot better sounding than what was in there originally. I mean, the original gear was just terrible. I don't even know how the cars run. So I knew that right then and there that was the problem. So what I've done is I've built up an axle set, and just as a side note, the axle on a Super 3 is 060. Most of the aftermarket axles are 059, like the Viper axle or the HCS AMG axle. So this particular axle set that I built up is an 059. I used the tires and hubs off the Super 3, and I'm having to glue these on here to keep them on because they are a little loose. I suspect that the pinion gear, the stock pinion gear, is okay, but as just an extra measure, I did put a Viper pinion gear on this. So when we're done, we'll have a Viper 7-tooth pinion gear, a lifelike 25 tooth crown gear. This particular gear boss is a Viper gear boss, and then everything else will be stock. And so once all this dries up or whatever, we'll put it back on the track and see what happens. Alright, so we've got the axles in the car now, and it seems to do pretty good. We'll give it a try around here and see how this does. Alright, so we're going to wrap this up here. All in all, with a few little simple modifications, the car ran pretty good. What we did is took another axle set and used a 25 tooth lifelike gear on it. We have a Viper pinion saver, and then we reused the factory hubs. There is a Viper pinion gear and this lifelike 25 tooth crown gear on it. These tires, I know a lot of guys like to, you know, have have the nice lettering on the tires and that, but one of the things that would probably help this car even more is a good set of aftermarket tires. These are about a 70 durometer tire, which is fairly stiff. If these were, say, a 55 or a 60, they'd get a lot better grip. I took and rounded off the inside edges to kind of help flatten the profile out, and that seemed to help. But as the car sits, it's probably got a 6.5 ohm armature. It's reasonably drivable at 18 volts on a better quality track, you know, if you have a good controller that can handle it. So all in all, it's not terrible, but a few little teething pains that would help the car right out of the box do better. And you know, here again, a better gear setup and maybe just a little bit better tire. The pickup shoes, I really couldn't get them tweaked out the way I wanted with a tool, which is essentially a small, I can't think of the exact name of it, but it's a shoe tweaking tool, and where you bend the shoe to kind of get it flatter. I'd have to take these off and get that. So we're riding on the toes right now, but if I could get that contact patch flatter in there, it would probably do a lot better. So, you know, all in all, not bad. It's a little bit better than it was a couple of years ago. The bodies are awesome, and you know, I really encourage Auto World to keep moving forward with these product improvements.